Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Meat City Gaming. JD here with a very special Halloween-themed episode of Battle Bites here in World of Tanks. Today we're going to take a look at the Spectre tank and the Dead City event that's going on this weekend, Halloween weekend 2015, on the console version of World of Tanks. This is actually something that the console version has that the PC version doesn't have yet. Usually it's the reverse, we get things after the PC version, but kind of cool that we get this first, and so I wanted to give you a little bit of a review of the tank and show you some gameplay and some tips and tricks that I've picked up in my first couple of games in the tank, because it is very different than how the base game plays out. So this is a tier 6 Spectre tank. It looks to be based on the Russian T-34-85, and as you can see, the skeleton crew is inside there. We've got a cool shading effect going on where the tank is mostly see-through. It's really hard to make out the detail on the tank and to see the tank in the garage, but in the gameplay it's much more visible. So here we go, you can see the components on the tank. It has just one package with a Spectral drive, which is a 1500 horsepower engine. This tank gets up to 80 miles an hour really quickly. Ectoplasm Blaster fires just over once a second with 126 penetration and 100 damage. Turret traverse is 95 degrees per second. It's ridiculous. And then the turret, 1500 view range. You can spot each other from 1500 meters across the map. You're not going to be hiding in this tank. You're going to see each other very quickly. So there is also a special Spectre crew. I wanted to pop in here to see if they came with any special skills, but they do not. It's just a 50% trained crew. I don't know if we'll keep them or if they'll disappear with the tank when the event is over. So then for the loadout, there is just one type of ammo. It's high explosive ectoplasm. You can see the damage and penetrations values there. Interestingly, they don't give you a full loadout in the tank. You come with 450 shells. You can go all the way up to 600, and while you probably won't get through a full clip like that, you should fill up because ammo goes really fast and you don't want to be left without it. And it's free, so there's no downside, so fill up. And then consumables, I went with a standard loadout: repair kit, first aid kit, fire extinguisher. There's situations where you need all three, so that's what I go with. Fire is probably the biggest threat to this tank, so I could see if you want to double up on a regular and a premium fire extinguisher. But to me, having the balance is the way to go. So here are the missions for this weekend. And I did not discover these. Full credit goes to the thread in the forums by Frosty117360. Jack-o'-lantern is earn an arsonist or demolition expert medal in a battle. Bone collector is destroy one of each type of tank in any number of battles. Deja vu is win 2 battles in a row. And survive the night is survive a night battle. Now, interestingly, it does not seem that the Dead City maps in the Spectre tank can be used to complete those missions. Kind of strange that they would introduce the new tank and the new missions and then say you can't use one to do the other. But that seems to be the way they go. Again, I will link the thread, check there for more detail and to see if any of those details have changed. It's early in the event, but that seems to be where they've gone. So now we'll jump into some gameplay and we'll see how this tank plays out. Again, forget everything you know about standard World of Tanks because these are special. So here we are in one of my first battles in the Spectre tank. This is not my very first battle because that one would have been an extremely short and unwatchable clip because I died almost immediately as the first tank because I had no idea what I was doing. And as I said, if you try to approach this game mode as you would a normal battle of World of Tanks, you're not going to do well and you might get frustrated. I kind of think this is going to be a love it or hate it type event. You're either going to say, it's a lot of fun, I get it, it's a short time, I'm going to really enjoy it, or man, this is terrible, it's not World of Tanks, I don't want anything to do with it. But if you approach it from a fun aspect and not from a this is a normal battle aspect, I think you'll do alright. So, first thing to note here is look at the arc of these shells. I was aiming at that guy and the travel time and the arc is crazy. So he was sitting still, which made him an easy target, and those shots rained down on him and he was easily eliminated. But that second guy there was driving away from me, and it's almost impossible to get the shells to hit a target that's driving away from you because of the arc and the travel time. You're taking tanks that are extremely mobile, 80 kilometers per hour, that they can accelerate to that top speed very quickly with shells that have a high arc and extremely slow travel speed, and mobility is going to be your weapon here. If you're moving, you're going to have a chance. If you're sitting still, you're dead. So, first most important tip, don't stop moving. There's almost no point in a battle in Dead City where you should not be moving, because if you are, you're a target and you can be taken out very quickly. It's hard to hit these tanks, but if you put a couple in, they go down fast, and especially from fires. So again, I had a guy coming around the corner on me there. I did not want him to have my rear, and I did not want to be stopped. So I scooted around the buildings, and now this is some chaos. This courtyard area, there's a lot of features that you can dive and move behind. And again, if you're moving, you're extremely difficult to hit. So I'm going to constantly stay on the move here. This is a 2-on-1 situation. I wait for an ally. He shows up, which is great. One of the second tips that I have is don't go alone. I know typical experienced players may think I want to go for the hill to control the hill, and it's not as important here. There's only 7 tanks. Map control is not as important. It's team destruction mode. You don't have to protect the flag. Stick with your teammates, because if you have multiple targets, you're going to do much better than if you're one against multiple targets. So there was a second tank, and that's another point. Ramming is a great thing. If you can ram the other tank in an advantageous position, guaranteed damage. The gun is hard to hit these very mobile tanks. So if you can get your front onto their side and you can get some speed up, you can do a lot of damage, and you may immobilize them, and then you can pump a couple of shots in quickly to finish them off. So I've got a tank here on my rear. I am going to keep moving. If I stop, I'm dead. The tank is tough to drive. It's very slippery. It's very power slidey. It likes to fishtail. So your driving is extremely important in this. Don't just go pedal to the metal and then try and power slide around a turn, slam into the building, and stop dead in your tracks, because that's when you're going to get killed. So this guy was following me for a while there. I was able to sneak through the little alleyway there, get away, break contact, and now he's turned targets to my one remaining ally. This is 2-on-2. It's going to be a close finish here. He's shooting at my ally left in the town square. So I'm going to come up behind him, try and get some shots, and we're just going to rain some fire down. Now, here's another thing. Sniper mode. Typically, you're going to aim in sniper mode in a Battle World of Tanks and try and pinpoint your shots. But what? I can't see anything here. The bloom from that ectoplasm, along with the fires and everything else that's going on, sniper mode is basically worthless. I would stick to third-person view. I would stick to auto-targeting, and move your tank and wait for the enemy to stop moving. So there, I had a great shot right into him. I move in, my remaining ally gets killed, but the last guy's on fire, and I take him out and secure the win there, last tank standing. So that was a good battle, and here, coming up next, I'll show you my best battle so far in the Spectre tank in Dead City, and I think then you'll have the knowledge and the tips for when you get into this battle later today to have some success, and to, if not, to at least have some fun with. So that was 4 kills, 1,000 damage, decent game, you know, secure to win. Again, there's no credits, there's no experience being earned here. This is all just to have a good time, and everybody has a better time when they win. So that was my first battle, and now we will jump into the second, where I really apply my knowledge over the first half dozen to a dozen games or so. Okay, battle number 2, and my best battle so far in the Spectre tank. So we're taking a look at the map, and I try to ping the center. I want everybody to go to the same place. You know, more guns, more tanks you have in the same place, I think the better off you do in these battles. And so I'm going to go with this crew of 4 here. We do have the one platoon, two guys in a platoon together. So I'm going to roll. Hopefully we're all going to stick together here, and we'll see how this battle goes. So down, this is the typical heavy tank fighting spot on Himmelsdorf, and you can see there's a tank down there, not moving. I'm able to arc my shots. There's some debris in the way, but it doesn't matter because of the high arc of these shells, and you can see I took a hit there. Even though these are high explosive shells, there are a number of times where you take a hit for 0 damage. I don't know if it's because the armor's thicker than the penetration value, or if it's the high explosive ectoplasm isn't really high explosive, but you can definitely bounce or absorb shots that don't do any damage. So we rained some fire down, got a nice little ram, and then that guy was stopped moving, so we pump a couple shots in and finish him off for our first kill. And then, I don't know, you FV304 drivers, is this how every battle feels for you? Sitting behind cover, short range, arcing over debris, rapid firing gun. Just kidding, of course. But this is World of Tanks, right? This does not feel like a World of Tanks battle. I am behind cover, arcing, looping some shots over in this little mid-range brawling range, and the shots are coming hot and heavy. But again, if you're moving, it's tough to hit. So once I see the shots starting to track towards me, I back up. And if you don't see the shots coming towards me, you can stay a little more still. And so there's a first hit, second hit sets the guy on fire, first hit damages fuel tanks, and that is typically the way this goes. If you hit the back half of the tank, you're gonna damage their fuel tank, and then the second one's gonna set them on fire, and they're gonna burn. So that was why earlier I talked about maybe you want to double up on fire extinguishers, because you can prevent that fire quickly. But if you repair the fuel tank after the first bit of damage, then you'll probably be okay too. So that's the argument for having the repair kit. And then if you lose your driver, driving is very important in this, as I mentioned in the first clip. If you lose your driver, the handling on this tank is atrocious. So that's why you want the med kit. That's why I recommend repair kit, med kit, and then fire extinguisher. So it's 2-on-2 here, and I've got an ally who's just kind of sitting in the gap there in the middle of that square, and I don't know what's going on with him. So I'm going to back up. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen the bum bait video by Achievement Hunter. Absolutely hilarious video. Well, this is my version. I don't know this other tank. This is not set up, but I'm using him as my bum bait. So those two guys see him sitting there. They think, oh, free kill. And then I get to come in while they're distracted and pump some shots in. Again, set the first guy on fire. He's eliminated. And the second guy, he's not moving. He's looking at that other tank who's sitting there. He's my bum bait. And I get to come in from behind and pump a couple shots in and eliminate him. 4 kills out of the 7 on the enemy team. 51 hits. Some of that certainly includes fire ticks as well. But just shy of 2,500 damage. 2447 for 18 penetrating shots. We secure a high caliber arsonist, fighter, bruiser. Quick look at the detailed stats. You can see for the 2447 damage, more than the rest of my team combined. So that was a great battle. Again, applying the principles. Stay on the move, shoot enemy tanks that aren't moving, feel free to arc your shots, hold that trigger down, beware of fires, stick with your teammates, sniper mode's pretty useless, and hopefully you guys are having a lot of fun. So that is the Dead City Spectre tank Halloween special event that we have going on this weekend. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, hopefully some of the tips and tricks will prove useful when you jump into your battles this weekend, help you enjoy the event a little more, and personally I really enjoyed the event. I thought it was a lot of fun to get to play in a new game mode, get to see a new tank, and have something that was very different and that hasn't been seen before on the PC version or anywhere else. But let me know what you guys think. Is this something you're looking forward to once you get into it? Is it something you enjoyed? Or would you prefer regular standard World of Tank battles and just have some specials and some other tanks go on sale or some other kind of special sale to commemorate the holiday weekend? Feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think, and thanks for watching.